So the first principle is the limiting factor. So there are two ways to understand this. One is that any exercise is most effective for a muscle group if that muscle is a limiting factor in the execution of those exercises. So for example, if you are training, let's say for your biceps, so whatever exercise you are doing, your bicep should fail first. Like it should be the limiting factor. If before bicep your any other muscle is failing, then it may not be an effective exercise for the bicep. Okay, na? You're doing workout for the bicep, but let's say your back is failing before your bicep, then you may not be able to do a lot of work for your bicep, or your biceps will remain undeveloped. So that exercise may not be the best exercise for your bicep. Other way of interpreting the same thing is that if any other muscle than primary muscle is failing in that movement, so that muscle would limit the amount of overload. Okay. So for example, let's say deadlift. So deadlift is a muscle, is an exercise for your hamstring and glutes, and yeah, your back is also involved. But what is the most common limiting factor in deadlift? Can anybody tell me? Okay, so
hand grip.
yes, grip. Okay, so you will find your grip strength is failing before your back or your hamstring fails. Okay, your bar starts slipping, or these things happen. Or when you do pull-ups, for example, in that pull-ups as well, the grips fail first, not your major muscles. Right. So if any muscle, any other muscle is failing, before the primary muscle, that would that would limit the amount of overload you can achieve. If your grip is failing in pull-ups, then it will limit the amount of number of pull-ups that you can do. It's your back. Your back is not failing in that first. Right. Similarly, in your deadlift, your grip strength is the limiting factor. Okay. Is it clear? So your exercise, whatever you're selecting, if you're picking up an exercise for biceps, then biceps should be the limiting factor in that exercise. If you're picking up an exercise for pectorals, pectoral should be the limiting factor in that exercise.